Welcome to Māori Customary Law, a place where Hapu can establish their native council or their Hapu authority under the Constitutional Order of New Tirini and exercise their kawa and tikanga to protect their whenua and their taonga. Please use the website below to learn more about the native councils or join us today for our Hapu kōrero.
And all this process does is it sends the authority back to the Hapu.
Yeah.
And Marion, you'll hear the terms Hapu and also native council. And they can be used interchangeably. But when you get down to specifics, there's a big difference. So Mum gives this kaupapa gives the authority back to the Hapu. Okay, doesn't give the authority to the native council. And so when the native council comes into play, that's only the Hapu decision being translated into a language that the white system can recognize. Right? Because if Hapu tried to communicate with the white system, I don't understand this, get this out of my courtroom. But as soon as you can translate it to a language that the court recognizes or understands, then they can read the documentation, which is based under law, and that's what puts them in their place. So that's how we're able to take any issues in the white man's world, their last line of authority is the courts. You start at ground level, start off with council. Next level above council is police. Next level above police is the courts. Right? So if we can take out the courts, we don't have to worry about the council. We don't have to worry about the police. We just tell the council and the police to take the issue to court. We don't have time to waste on you little people. We want to get it solved. Right? And so now that with this kaupapa gives authority back to the Hapu, Hapu can translate it into a language that the courts can understand. The courts now can stand down the police and the district councils, and that's a complete process. And yeah, we use the term Hapu and native council interchangeably, but they're actually specifically different. And
pretty powerful, isn't it?
Aye. Well, all the power resides within 1835. Without that, this process, this kaupapa wouldn't exist. Yeah, so go back to 1835. And then what we were talking, that is what the chiefs of Waitangi recognized, that the authority was being given back to Hapu, and they loved the process. Come on, let's bring it back under the whakamininga and bring it back under Waitangi. But this kaupapa is built from the ground up, and it doesn't need a roof. The roof cannot be built before the foundation. And so they were coming with a roof to our foundation. Sorry, you need to build your own foundation. Our foundation is built. From our foundation, we are going to build our roof, and that's where our whakamininga comes in. With the collective of Hapu coming together, that is our whakamininga, and that is where all power to create laws exists, and all power to create LAW, it exists in that collective. That's why this process is so strong, because once we do come together, we can make the laws for New Tirini, and that will be applied all over the landmass known as New Zealand.
Yeah. And so when we were meeting internationally with Matua Karanga, so internationally the indigenous people from all over the world were coming in, and I mean like literally all over the world, and they were asking about this. Come on, Māori, because we know you've got it. We're waiting. And like the simplicity of it was simply that hapu. And like, so that there's a structure in the database, that's what they were looking for. And like, I think I might have spoken up like maybe once or twice about the simplicity of the hapu concept. And so like, Phil, like when you say that hapu will make the laws for Nutireni, it's like, well, that's kind of a huge statement for anyone that doesn't get the simplicity of it. So anyone would be like, oh, whatever these hapu, who they think they are making law for us. But no. We actually make law for within us, you know, so there is no one outside that misses out on making the law, you know. So when we, as hapu, we hui. And, you know, if you are part of the hapu, come to the hui, you know, or you send your rangatira or whānau or whatever to come to the hui so that we consider nut it out and go, no, this is not good, this is why. We actually had one hui and we went for like 12 hours. Yes, and everyone's going yes, and there's one no. This is just within our hapu, and there's one no, and we're like, this lady brought out kasi porangi, you know, what the hell, you know, because she the porangi is, but like, but she had a valid point, you know, and so everybody had to go over this valid point, and then before you know it, everyone's flipped over and gone yes, you know, to what she said, and we're like, oh, she's not porangi, but then there's one no. You know, and then it's like, and then it went back to the no, and this one's explaining her point, no, because of da. And then everyone went back to no, and then there's, and it just went back and forth, everyone's validated opinions till we actually all come to a really good understanding of, okay, yeah, so it is, yes it is.
Yeah.
And then that's the tikanga, and then that's the law, and then yeah, and so because we all nutted it out, and we all, oh, there's a good opinion, well, that's a good opinion, that's a good reason, 12 hours, you know, and then and this was a courtie, so this was us sitting in native council. We're actually gone beyond Hapu, and so when we got to put that down into from a native council sitting into the courts, it went to the Sovereign's Court where Hazel's Secretary of Law, so it went to the Sovereign's Court, and then Hazel from native council sent it back to the courts as Māori customary law. So all she did was translate our tikanga into Māori customary law. So as hapu, that's all we did, is what's the tikanga? Oh yes or no, or yes or no, you know, and then like, so from hapu to native council, tikanga to Māori customary law. That's the process. And that's where we make law. And that's how the law of the country, and that's something that the whole Indigenous race of the world are waiting for. All they wanted was a simple solution like that, the system. Imagine that. This world would be a better place if we could do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We could get together and nut that
And
out.
that goes to that common thing, this global common theme of like people wanting freedom. Everyone knows this should be a bottom-up structure, right? The decision should be made from the people and then sent up the line, or vice versa, the inverted triangle. The decision comes from the people and down to a single decision, right? And what you're just explaining, Renee, that, yeah, you apply that principle throughout the world of the Indigenous nations. Yes, the decision does come from the people and it is sent down to a single decision.
And within your ropu, within your hapu, because hapu is not just bloodline now, like hapu is your ropu, so it's your community, it's your people around you, it's the people within your marae area, you know, so the marae is the pinnacle, everything around it. So Chinese, Japanese, you know, and that's where we're the only system actually that has that availability for te tangata. So there's tauiwi, there's settlers, there's manuhiri, there's, you know, tangata whenua. And that, so we don't actually exclude anybody. Chinese, Japanese, you come and you actually got something valid to put, you know, then you come forward and we'll listen. And, you know, and if it's good and it's valid, then hapu will jump on it and go, yeah, you know, then mana whenua will jump on it and go, oh, yeah. So it might be valid within our ropu, within our hapu, within our area. It might not be valid on the other side, on the East Coast or the West Coast, you know. So that's where when we come together as whakamininga, that either becomes bylaw, meaning in your area, or that becomes the law within your country because we all agree. That's important.
That's right.
That's really, really important. That's what we should be doing, like according to our documents. You know, hey, that's what we should be doing. We should be meeting in that time. We should be saying, well, you know, my Hapu said this is okay, and you know, this is the tikanga, and they go, no, it's not. But everyone goes, yeah. Then we take it away, go back, teach our whānau till Waitangi Day. Waitangi Day comes full mandated. That's how it's supposed to be. That's smart, eh? It's a clever process. Nah, we got this. Hang on, I'll vote. When's voting coming in? Do we know there's a constitution to have good order?
Yeah.
They already got their order, whether we agree or not. So like, and that's one line I use with the judges. Well, we didn't agree to that.
Yeah.
And that's the simplicity of it all. Well, I didn't agree to that. You know, judge says to me, how come you had your license for 25 years? You know, and it's like a learner's, right? Because we didn't agree to change it.
Yeah.
We didn't agree we have to go and buy 3 more. Something like that. And you know, and they understand it. That's the good thing. Like Phil said, once it gets to court, that's where the standing is. And this is another thing I learned about the government, is the government are just puppets. The judges are the ones that actually enforce the law. So the judges are the ones that enforce it to be mandate. So we might think the government makes the laws and the government makes the, you know, this is how it is, but no. The actual lawyers do. The lawyers put the laws together and their acts and their blah blah blah, and then the judge. So whatever happens, you know, the government's still bound. The judge has got the last decision.